Hey, we didn't clap. Are we recording? We are recording?
Talking Normies Podcast.
Hey, what up, everybody? It's the Talking Normies Podcast, coming at you with a little bit of podcast deliciousness.
Hey, yo.
Usually I feel it's interesting, or I always feel like we should be introducing ourselves, but y'all know who we are. If this is your first time listening,
Nah, man, we gotta introduce ourselves. It's we're still
Every time.
all right then. Well, introduce that. I'm Chris Johnson.
I'm Pat Johnson.
I'm Spidey. What, Johnson?
I'm Mickey Johnson.
Whoa.
Well, here's the thing. Before we get started on the weekend catch-up, I just want to say, who watched the movie? Put your hands up. Now, can we all say on the count of three what movie we watched? 3, 2, 1.
Princess Bride.
Pat, what did you say?
Princess Bride?
Pat, are you sure that you watched The Princess Bride?
I find I watched Princess Diary.
You watched The Princess Diaries?
Yes, the first one. Listen, when you think about a princess movie, that's the first movie you're gonna think of.
It's not.
To be fair, that's also a popular movie with the word princess in there.
Yeah, so that's what I thought of. And then when I was watching this movie, I'm like, because I know Chris was hyping the shit out of this movie. Even Nuvi. I was like, Nuvi's not into rom-coms type of shit. So she was hyping the movie up. And I'm like, watching this movie the whole time. I'm like, first off, it's 2 hours long. And like, kind of dry. Too long for it needs to be. And I'm like, this is just like any other regular ass rom-com, but not that good. And like, there are some funny parts, and like I could see why maybe Chris and Nuvi would like it, because there is some good messaging. Like, one of the messages, like, a princess is not always someone who has makeup on and a tiara and is dressed nicely, but she's also like working for the people, right? I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, that's a good message. And then another message was like, you know, if you really want to cause change in the world, you got to be empowered to be able to cause change in the world. And when you have power, you got to do good things.
I'm so mad right now. The one movie that got you to do a proper analysis is the one that wasn't assigned.
That's incredible.
You did extra credit.
Now that you actually came back with something for real from
No,
it.
that's it. That was great.
beautiful.
That
We're going to
was-
give you
that was
an A
awesome.
on your extra credit, but you're getting an F on the assignment.
Right? I feel like now
I would
we all
also
need
like to
watch
point
it.
out that
Chris
in my
sends
message,
messages.
Yeah.
my message yesterday at 9 a.m. says, hey, watch movie Princess Bride. And then I said PB. And then I said, watch it. And then I sent a Google link with Princess Bride streaming options. And then I sent a picture of Inigo Montoya and 3 of Fred
They're
Savage.
just regular ass people.
Yo, I didn't know that was Fred Savage. I was like, oh shit. But yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah.
now that that portion's done,
That's so funny.
let's do the AT&T guys here. So if you guys hear the dogs in the background, they're just protecting us.
Yeah.
It's mainly one little bitch.
They're just
Weekend catch up. What'd you guys
just being
do on the weekend? Mickey said he was going to come to bike party, but he didn't.
Wah, wah, wah.
I
Why
did
didn't
not, because I was unable to fit the bike in the car.
you? You should have just
Your
wrote it
wheels
down
don't come off?
I didn't
They
have the
do.
proper tools.
there. No. Man,
You
say you
don't
didn't want to do
own
it.
a
Say you didn't want to do it.
No, I did. I
Say you
wanted,
didn't
I
want
wanted
to
to do it.
Doesn't
You
the
gonna
bike-
tell me that your bike didn't come with the tools for it?
Wait, what?
Your bike came in a box full of tools to put it together, didn't it?
No.
The baby maker,
What?
right?
The
Is that
baby
your
maker?
bike?
What bike comes with tools?
All of them. They
Yeah.
all come with a little tool pouch to put the bikes together.
Yeah, they're probably like the freaking furniture tools. I don't keep those.
Why not?
Bro, it's just...
Because I have because
So you hold on. So you do have the tools to take apart the bike, and that's why you didn't keep the
threw 'em
tools.
away.
no.
You know they give you the specific size parts for
You
your
don't
bike.
own a wrench.
I had all my bike tools in the bike that got stolen. All my shit got.
So, quick
all my shit
question.
got took.
You have the baby maker, right?
Yes.
Doesn't the baby maker fold?
No.
Oh, I thought it folded.
No, it's not a folding.
It's the electric one. It's the section one, though.
But hey, we did Pride. Was that?
Yeah.
That was last weekend.
That was. Well,
That's wild. Dude.
we can't get into Pride right now. 'Cause
Why?
we're talking about bike party.
Yeah. I dropped the ball. I have no excuses other than the fact that my bike wouldn't fit my car and I didn't have the tools to take it apart.
He doesn't own a single wrench.
I didn't.
You own
replenish
2 houses and no wrenches.
I haven't.
Right. Your
replenished-
TVs are mounted.
I haven't replenished the things that got stolen yet. You know.
Gotta replenish.
Watchdog, we get our
We
bikes
need-
from the internet.
You're a biker. Maybe you should get a bike rack.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Or- or-
you're right.
yeah.
You're 100% right.
Bike rack's like $30.
For real? They're that cheap?
You're 100% right.
Damn, I'll buy you the bike rack.
You're 100% right.
Well, okay, so we
I
did.
used to have one.
Who all came to bike party?
I did. It was my first bike party. Actually.
Tell us about your first bike party, and also, you got a bike now?
Yeah, it was awesome. Bria got me a bike for my birthday.
Nice.
Hi, baby. It is a Stateco bike, and it is one of the sexiest things I've ever seen. And now I can't stop riding it. I also had a moment, Chris, where I was thinking about like how you were like, I think Marquetta bought me the waffle maker that makes the Death Star waffles.
Yeah.
Thought you think she did that
So that I make waffles.
Yeah,
more.
so she'll make waffles. Bria's been talking to me about doing cardio for the longest, and I was like, I just don't feel like doing it. She got me this bike, and I can't stay off of it.
God.
You know what?
Yeah.
Guess who did steaks last night because I have a grill now? She's like, is this
God.
She was like, is this the trick to get men to cook more? Get them a grill? And I was like, fuck. I'm over here grill master. I'm like, oh my God.
All right, how did I get here?
What happened?
Cooking's fun.
Grilling is fun.
And I bought
Grilling, yeah.
I bought a professional grade pepper mill, and it is a fucking game changer. It is
what?
a professional.
Just one of these bad boys?
Yes, but like I'm talking like
Oh, so you just put your whatever in there?
yeah, but I'm talking like I spent like $100 on it
Why?
Why?
because it's all metal. It's like a it's all like
It just crushes pepper, my dude.
yes, I know, but it's like the one you get from a grocery store, how many times you got to pump it to get the amount of pepper that you want?
You just,
But like how I mean, like realistically, you gotta
like 3, 4?
You gotta twist that bitch a lot.
Man, I don't know what peppers you get it from the grocery
Well,
store.
this pepper mill, one turn, dude.
Yeah.
One to two turns, that you got more pepper than you want.
You
But
know,
for $100?
More than you want.
Mickey, I got bad news for you. I have a pestle and mortar that costs like $12, and then I just get peppercorns, and then I grind it
can do you
myself.
one even better. I have one that is just a
This
like
one-
a dry.
This
like
one is
electric grinder.
aircraft
Nice.
aluminum.
Aircraft aluminum. Oh, no, you just have a regular grinder for regular people, and it
Nah,
works.
man,
right.
it's
Yeah.
fucking sick, dude. I feel like fucking Bobby Flay in my kitchen now. I'm
I
like,
bet.
Pepper.
And he's over here salt baying his shit like.
So yeah, what do you think about your
grind
first
my
bike party, Spidey? Was it everything you thought it'd be?
It was amazing. There was I don't know how many people, but it was a fucking lot. Like I didn't realize that you can just fuck up traffic on some bikes if you know enough people at a whim. Like no one told me what we were riding for. Like there was no actual calls. We were just. It wasn't because of pride, because they do this shit all year. So like, it was just bike party.
Yeah, you
like,
just mob through the city, dude.
Yep.
fuck it. Why not?
Oh,
Like,
no, there's no set path?
someone does. Someone says.
Yeah.
Someone lets
There
know
is a
what the
set
is.
path, but this is not a regulated event. Like,
No.
Yeah.
like people.
It's like
So
Fight
there's
Club.
there's
Like no
cops
one
for
knows who
rejecting-
No,
started
there's
it.
no cops. It's just dudes on bikes stopping traffic.
So
like,
hold
hey,
on,
we
time
got
out,
people.
time out. So like, if I'm driving on the street
You're
and I
fucked.
see these motherfuckers,
Yep.
You're
then no, fuck that shit.
You gonna hit 'em?
Regulate that
You
shit.
gonna
They
hit
need
'em?
to burn traffic.
All right.
I would be hella shitty if I was stuck behind you guys.
Well, guess
sure
what?
would.
This is the
It
city.
happens.
Go around.
Yeah. It's a box. You can go left and right and then be going where you're going.
Plenty of other ways to go. Although,
Oh,
when
so
they
you
did-
guys are not taking the whole road, just taking up the lane.
Plus, they make a
lane.
route where you're
Huh?
like not
Yeah, about
on.
the lane.
Oh, okay, that's. I was when I'm thinking, I'm thinking you're just taking the entire road.
no, I will
I mean,
say
there are some-
we stopped traffic on 38th Street for a little bit, and that was I was like, hey, listen, y'all, we got to get
Yeah, we gotta get moving.
There's a lot of places in the city where you do
that.
that at. This ain't one of them.
Yeah, and there had to be like 300 or 400 people.
Yeah.
Really?
Dog, I'm not even
Dang
joking. It was
dude.
fucking huge. Like,
Man, those are the fun ones.
yeah,
'Cause
we mobbed a few different parts.
Because I've been to the very first one I went to, it was like 200 people. It was like crazy. But then the next few, it like kind of dwindled down. Still a good amount of people, but like, man, when it's like a bunch of people, like it's cool.
So what do you guys do?
Ride to a park, sit, drink, smoke.
So
get on your bike, ride to
there's-
another park, sit, drink, smoke.
There's a big
Basically.
circle, right? You'll end up where you started, ultimately. But along that path, there's a bunch of checkpoints where you can stop, mingle with people,
It's like
drink, smoke, and
there's like
ride bikes to the city.
100 little different parties. When you stop, there were people doing fire dancing at the end.
Yeah, that shit was sick.
They broke out they were straight lane. They had their own music. They had their own set, and they're like, "Oh, we're doing that." Some of them, when you stop, there's a band. It's like, "Oh, this band's playing a concert here." Other ones,
like, how are you
people have
riding with
speakers
that?
and shit, and they're just like, "Oh, well, there's a dude who has a DJ card, and he's just like, oh, well, I'm gonna do a whole DJ set after we stop at the next stop."
It's kind of like at Forest, after once the party is done, everyone
Yeah.
goes to their tents and create
Yep.
their own party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
kind of
mobile.
cool.
Dude, bike party, man. You just kind of mob through the city, dude.
So
It's pretty cool.
They
just come
now,
to it.
like you guys said, it's not regulated, and you
Yeah.
drink and smoke.
Uh-huh.
Has anyone like drunk so they could not ride their bike anymore? Like, how does that work?
Oh, have you seen Game of Thrones? You know when Khal Drogo's falling off of his horse, and they're like, "Well, if you can't ride your horse, you can't be a Khal." It's like that. if you can't ride your bike, you're not at bike party. Like once you're drunk enough to fall off your bike, that's it.
So no one's taking care of you, nothing like that?
I mean, your friends will take care of you.
You're an adult that got yourself there.
Right?
So
Get your fucking self home.
You're an adult.
It's some punk rock shit, bro.
It's a bike. No, I'm kidding. Someone will normally roll with you though.
Yeah, your friends will be with you, but yeah, that's it. If you're too drunk to drive your bike, what the fuck are you doing?
One more question.
Some people Uber.
One more question. Let's say like someone like Spidey, who's a novice, a new rider.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, like he's slow, and everyone is fast. Like,
no, he's not.
well, okay, they're not. Okay, Spidey's not. Let's say someone's a novice.
Yes.
And they're slow. Like they're drinking, they're smoking, but they haven't rode a bike for a while. But like they're behind the track. Now it's like
We're not racing. Like it's not moving quick. It's not moving fast.
So am I ever going? Like, is someone ever going to lose the crowd?
Is this a asking for a friend question?
Yeah, asking for a friend.
No, there was a point where I actually stopped. I found some porta potties. I went over to use the bathroom. They had a little sink there, and I washed my hands. And there was another guy there, and I've never met him before, but he waited for me, and he had extra like lights for the bike, and he was like, "Bro, here, like have this. You can keep that." Gave me another light and shit. Like people look out for you. And
It was like a festival.
You would have to be riding your bike with your feet on the ground like Flintstone style to lose the group.
Yeah.
It's very hard to lose the group.
It's not very fast. Also, it's hard to lose the group because it's like 300 people on bikes. Yeah. You can see them from a while away.
You can see them.
You can hear them.
Oh yeah, I forget you guys play. You guys play music throughout the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I had my speaker on my bike.
Big ass speakers.
I brought my big ass one.
300 to 400 people. That's probably
So-
the biggest one.
Bro, it was lit.
Bike party was a good thing.
That is one of the coolest things.
I don't want to talk about Pride.
Why?
Oh,
I want to talk about Pride.
Oh, I know.
I can't get. You know what?
I know
You
why
shame me. I'm going to shame Chris.
I know why you don't want to talk about Pride.
Let me shame Chris now, because he gets to shame me all the time. So Chris was. This is my first Pride, by the way. All right.
Did you enjoy yourself? At
Yes,
least?
I enjoyed myself.
Could you imagine if you would have went to the festival?
Yeah, I think I would have had a little bit more fun, but it was just. I was dead tired. But anyways, it was my first Pride. I woke up extra early than usual on my Saturdays. So we went and get to the bike party, and I'm thinking, all right, we're going to start drinking, around 8 o'clock, and, we're going to be ready to go. Chris, he was running the event, and we were going to get on Schoolisha. So I was super excited to get on Schoolisha.
Is what? Schoolisha is what?
Schoolisha is a sauna bus.
That's the sauna
The
bus.
sauna bus.
It's the sauna bus.
The sauna bus.
It's a big old bus.
Big old bus, and Chris has driven this bus plenty of times. He has a good understanding of this bus pretty well, and is an Advis bus. Anyway, so he had to go get gas.
Pretty intimate knowledge of the bus.
Yeah, he had to go get gas,
One would
and
say the most intimate.
he instead of diesel, he put regular ass gas in the bus. And he filled it up. He filled it up, and mind you alone, this is not the first time he had this bus. He had this bus for a while. He filled his gas up plenty of times on this bus too. But anyways, for some reason that morning, I guess pride got to his head, and he wasn't thinking clearly. He was super excited because I was super excited. But yeah, the diesel got switched out, and the bus would not start. So Chris, he owned up to his own mistake. He took responsibility. He didn't force anyone else to take the responsibility for his fuck up. So he sucked the gas out of the bus by himself.
Giggity.
And
Giggity.
Whenever you guys ever, what's that called? The
Siphon.
Siphon. If you guys ever siphon, you're going to drink a little bit of gasoline. I'm pretty sure this man probably drank a whole bottle of gasoline, because that's how much gas that was in that bus.
God.
But then, once we flushed it out, put the regular, like the diesel in, it worked. And it was fine. But then,
A few times, but
then when we get to the parade, the actual parade line, when we're about to start, ready to go, we try to start the bus. It didn't start. Like, it was giving some issues. But then, Chris still kept at it, and then it finally started. And we were good to go. We went through the whole parade. The parade was fun. I had a great time. But then they...
do you remember all of the parade?
No, I blacked out for a little bit.
Oh, are you wearing? Oh yeah, well yeah,
But it was lit.
you were drinking just straight tequila.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about the blackout later. But anyways, when the parade was done, we're all getting back to go. Chris is trying to get everyone back home and safe. The bus would not start, and it stalled. I don't know where it stalled, but it just stalled somewhere, and he had to get it towed.
Meridian and North.
Yeah, he had to get it towed, but it was...
Oh, you had to get it towed
Yeah.
after that? Oh,
Yeah.
that was it? It was done?
I mean, she's starting back up now. She's running now.
No, but
so
I mean,
you
like,
flush it properly
but
then?
that day.
That day, yeah, we have to
Okay,
get it towed
wait,
back.
wait.
What does it cost to tow a bus?
Probably a
$450.
Ah!
Hell yeah, I guess you have the exact number.
It costs $450.
He didn't even say approximately, not about. He just said it is exactly.
He remembers it.
Right.
$400.
Oh, that just gave me a chest pain.
Oh man.
So you didn't build enough anticipation for the times. where like the first time you started the bus, it was like, because the whole time I'm looking at Marquetta and she's just like, she looked like the Arthur meme, you know, with the closed fist.
Kenny was so bad.
So like you're starting it up and it's just like, and that's a bad engine noise, but you get the point. But like
Good driving.
it didn't start for a few times and then it started. It was like a moment of triumph every time it worked. It was like it was a sitcom episode. Like this was a sitcom episode.
There were people around us cheering after it started.
And even when you were in the line, so you had the engine idle. You kept it running.
Yeah.
And then because like we were there for like more than an hour.
That's how I got fucked up.
Yeah.
Standing around for an hour waiting. We were also the ass in. We were the last thing in the parade, which is good and bad. But like you want to be in the middle, or you want to be at the very beginning, because when you're at the end, people are kind of sauced. They don't know what's going on, bro.
Yeah. So again, when you started it didn't work. It didn't work to the point where people were putting things in cart to just walk the parade, and then bam, like we're 10 steps off of it, and then it starts up again. And it made it through the parade, but then it didn't start. Dude, if it shut down during the parade, that would have been.
Well, luckily we were at
It
the
would have
end.
been good marketing.
Yeah, we good marketing. But hey, it was still a fun time. It was a good pride. It was my first pride.
Did anybody hit on you?
No, because I was too drunk.
Maybe you weren't doing it right, because I was getting flirted with left and right, bro.
Men are disgusting.
Y'all, this goes to every man, gay, straight, whatever. Y'all niggas is gross.
You're fucking gross.
I can see why women don't tolerate us. Jesus.
What? Come on, it wasn't flattering.
Oh no, it was definitely flattering,
yeah,
but
of
also
course.
just like dudes are unabashed. You know how?
Give me some good ones.
I got you, but you know how like when you're like a dude and there's a girl and you're like, man, I wish you would just give me a clear sign. You know what I mean? And girls are very subtle, right? They're like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe I play with my hair a little bit. You got to really be paying attention to a woman, I feel like, to figure like if she likes you. Not all women, but at least in my life. But dude, I was like on roller skates and dude was just, hey, Big Daddy. Oh my God. They would just like look at you. And I was like, okay, look, fucking look at me. And I rolled past this one dude. He gave me like a straight, like, gave me like the little kissy face. And we were giving out hydration packets. And I was like, here, you thirsty? And it was good. But it's just, dudes are unabashed, bro. Like I heard of when we were getting our tattoos in New Orleans, they were telling us about gay Easter, and there was a tattoo artist who was gay, and he was like, last gay Easter, this dude just showed me his asshole. Like he was just like, look at it, and I was like, well, I mean, he could tell he was another gay dude. And he was like hitting on him, but this was in New Orleans. He was just like, look at it. I was like, that's a lot. Like,
that's wild.
You know what I mean?
That's bold.
Spidey, how did you get? No one showed me their butthole at Pride. To be fair, Indiana Pride it's very.
It's family friendly.
Yeah.
I got a lot of pelvic thrusting. People like, you know what? A lot of dudes.
Well, just like off the side,
just purposely trying to flop dick at you. Like that is, I don't know. It's odd. Like I feel like a lot of dudes think that that's something that anyone would want to see, but it's not. You know, kind of keep your dick to yourself. So I got a lot of chocolate daddies. I was riding my bike around, and some dude was just like, "I got something you can ride." I'm like, "Why would I want to do this? Like, I don't want any part of this now."
Man, I'm jealous. I didn't get it. Maybe I was too drunk, but I didn't get hit on.
Pat, I feel like they would be like, "Oh, look at you."
Probably didn't notice
probably
it.
just
Right?
didn't notice.
He just did it the whole thing.
Because you were in a fucking rainbow zebra romper, bro. Like, you were out there looking like a Tootsie Roll, bro.
Somebody was like,
snack.
"Oh, he's the one."
Somebody was like, all right, brown daddy, let's see.
Hey, man, I turned into Dennis from It's Always Sunny. With, like, a gay guy hits on me. I'm like, what? Stop it.
He's like, "Do you mean it?"
I will say though, before we move, the most aggressive. I was at we were at the Metro, which is like the gay club here in town, which I love going there because the music's always good and the drinks are kind of cheap. But it was like me and Katie there, and she's like on a dance floor. I was like, I'm gonna go get a drink, and I walked by, and there was a bunch of like kind of buff-ish. Just imagine dudes that look like me, but actually buff and not with the gut. Short shorts, little crop top, shades, looking like they're straight out of the 80s. When I walked past him, one of them grabbed my buddy. He's like, what up? And I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And it was just like, I'm like, all right, see, this is why women hate motherfucking men.
Bro, and
look
then
at
you'd be
y'all.
like, damn, I
y'all
can't
gonna do
fight
this to me? I'm a whole ass dude. I can fight you at least. Like, I know that there's dudes that be doing that shit to chicks, like at clubs. Girls go to clubs like, yeah, someone just grab my ass. You just kind of walk it off. And I was like, I am upset, gentlemen. I am upset. I wanted to like lecture these motherfuckers like we were in school. Like, but I was just like, man, fuck y'all. I'm gonna get my drink and I'm gonna go back to the dance floor. But
Niggas are savage.
right. All right, so
Men only want one thing.
and it's fucking disgusting.
Just to squeeze butts.
All right, before we get into an actual two conversations, one of them is going to be fun. That's going to lead to the podcast. I have a story for you guys.
Okay.
So this happened in southern Indiana, Monroe County, I believe. A man. All right, I'm gonna do the story thing. A man got arrested because someone in his family looked at porn. Now I'm going to give you the whole story.
Was it child pornography?
I need you to hear about this. So this guy had I'm just gonna call it CP. He had CP or some kind of child abuse materials on his phone, and he got arrested and he went to jail. Or he didn't go to jail. He got bailed out, and part of his probation was that he couldn't go to any adult websites. Okay. So they were like, hey, you're allowed to be back in the real world. You can't go to any adult websites. You have to wait until court, all this, and that, right?
So this guy did do something wrong.
He did something wrong to begin
The
with.
court system told you couldn't watch porn?
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Now, hold on.
I've never heard something like that before.
Where's what?
It gets worse. So they say, well, you could get on anyone else in your family's phone or computer and you could look at porn that way. So no one in your family...
They told him that?
They told him this, yeah. So they put an app on
if
all
there's-
of their phones.
If there's a loophole, then who gives a... Okay.
Yeah.
They put an app on all of their phones called Covenant Eye. This app takes a screenshot of your phone every minute, and then it decides if what you're watching is bad or not, and then it sends it to the person who put the app on your phone. So parents put this app on their kids' phone to make sure they're not looking at porn, right? The fucking city government put this shit on his phone and on his mother-in-law's, his wife, and his two kids' phone. 17-year-old girl, 12-year-old boy. They all have this app on their phone now. And if anybody in the family goes on an adult website, they're going to think it was the dad, and the dad's going to go to jail. This nigga's in jail within a week, obviously.
Of course.
So here's what
Well, I
happened.
thought he's allowed to watch porn on other people's phones.
He's not. No. That's why they put it on everyone in the house's phone. Everyone in the house.
Oh, it wasn't a loophole they gave him. That was like a contingency.
Yeah, so they were like, you could do that. So what we're going to do is we're putting this app, Covenant Eye, on all of the devices in the house.
Oh my god.
So they can watch. They're watching a mother-in-law buy bras and shit. She's like 80. All right. The mom's like, I'm afraid to talk to my lawyer because this thing takes a screenshot of my phone. Like if I say something about the case because it's going straight to the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Is the prosecutor going to be able to use that against me? The daughter's like, I'm afraid to text with my friends because what if I use cuss words? They're going to assume the kid plays Pocket Mortys and he's like, is Pocket Mortys an adult website? Like, is my dad going to go to jail because of this? So what ends up happening is someone in the family goes on Pornhub, all right? And then the dad is sent to jail.
Naturally.
Turns out it was the wife. And turns out she didn't go to Pornhub. She just been to Pornhub enough times on her phone that Google does this thing where it's like, here are the top 6 websites you go to. Do you want to go to any of these when you log on to it?
Search history?
It made like a request to Pornhub. That's all the app did. The app was like, someone from this phone made a request to Pornhub. Maybe they typed it in the search bar or something. That counts as an adult website. So it literally, wife gets on her phone, goes to Google. Google's like, here are the top 6 websites you go to. Pornhub's one of them because you like to masturbate because you're a normal fucking person. Do you want to go to Pornhub? She doesn't click it. She doesn't even engage with it. But that counts. And then homie sent to fucking jail. And I hate that we're having to sit here and advocate for a dude who's clearly some kind of weird sex pervert who's got some shit going on with him that he needs to get addressed. But this is way over the fucking line, ain't it?
Yeah, that seems
I feel like it's fucked up because it has like, why would you do it to the entire family's phone? Which I get why, but you don't need to invade my privacy because of this.
Exactly.
Right. Also, if I'm a 12-year-old boy and if I jerk off, my dad goes to jail. He's in jail day one. It's not even what are we even doing here?
It's like,
I got restraints at 12.
That is my card. That's my trump card. Like what? Clean your room, motherfucker. I will jack off. Don't you dare tempt me. Like,
You're on
what?
punishment. You can't leave your room. Fine. Don't tempt me with a good
All right,
time.
motherfucker. I got you. You're going straight to jail.
They're gonna put a teenage boy in a room with like a stack full of Playboys, and they're like, "Don't you do it."
Right? Or your father goes to jail. He just crying. He's like, no.
But wait. So that was it. He just didn't have to go. They just couldn't watch porn.
Yeah. He could have got magazines, I suppose. He could have bought
They could have worked this
DVDs.
out.
Yeah, but it
He coulda
wasn't even
gotten
his fault.
movies.
It was
They could have got a burner phone for the porn.
Yeah. Well, I think
How
if they-
addicted to porn are you that you would need a burner phone?
Oh my god, dude! Do you want? Okay, do you want to hear?
Oh my god.
Do you want to hear this case that I saw? You guys know I watch a lot of true crime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I go off on this tangent real quick? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but before you do, I just want to bring it back to the what do you think? Like, I want everyone's topic or idea about the. How fucked up that
I
is.
think it's stupid as fuck. I don't know why the prosecutor of the city even thought of that type of punishment in the first place. If this guy was really into like child pornography or child abuse type shit, he should just been in jail and just dealt with it then, or like besides letting him go, tell him not to go to like,
Dude,
porn.
they gave him the option of bail.
Or yeah, but that's not the right solution, because like I don't think porn is like a bad thing. The type of porn maybe you're
Yeah,
into.
this is weird that they
Yeah.
told him don't go to any adult website.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like they've had many like this case before, and I don't know why.
But-
they haven't done that. Like
I mean-
we know how to solve this. Basically, I don't know why we were just like we should keep the whole family from watching porn. It's like no, man, Buddy's got a problem.
But
Let's fix that shit.
But that's the thing. Like this type of punishment is probably intentional because there's no way.
There's no way.
So like they want him because they're like we can't. It was probably one of those things like he's out on bail or like we don't have enough to. Put
was
him in
Southern
jail.
Indiana?
So
Yeah.
So we're gonna make a rule that's easy to break, and he's going to break it. And then we'll get him.
Was
that
it
way.
small town?
So I feel like it was
they don't
probably
say
by
the
design.
town, they say the
I feel
county.
like it was by design.
So they said it
I-
was a failure.
Also, this person here has a really good point. This is D. Anderson. He says this doesn't keep men from looking. It keeps men from. It makes people more sneaky. Because the thing is that if you knew anything about technology, you'd be able to get around this. While I was reading the article, I read in the comments that there was one dude who did get caught. He was a fucking piece of shit. He got caught with a bunch of CP stuff. And what he just did was he partitioned his computer and had 2 operating systems on it. And they were like, so while they're monitoring one operating system, he just boots into the other one. Like it's just, and that if you know anything about computers, that's something you can have done within the hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, sure, you're gonna catch Joe Blow, but all the fuckers that are savvy about it, you just not. That's it.
That's wild.
Trash.
That is wild. I would have been shitty.
That actually solved the problem. This thing. But yeah, tell us about your true crime, Mickey.
Oh, so this is how crazy it can get. Okay, there's this case about this guy who basically killed his whole family, like mom, dad, brother.
Over porn?
Essentially.
Oh god.
Here's how it goes. Okay, this dude he was a pathological liar. And what's scary is he was a fucking nurse working in the healthcare system. But like this guy had a problem to porn, and specifically like not OnlyFans, but like chatting with like this. There was this one
Chatterbait.
whatever, but like no, not even that. Like actual girls like talking to like webcam models.
Yeah, Chatterbait.
Oh, okay. Well, webcam models. There was one from like Bulgaria that he like fell in love with, and he just like kept giving her money, and he like kept, and he was funneling money from the family, and he was telling him it's for like school and shit. Just guess. I want you guys to.
Oh fuck.
100,000.
I want you to guess a number.
Are we into
200,000.
6 figures?
Huh?
Are we into 6 figures?
I just guess.
I want to say at least like
I
200,000.
say 100,000.
Man, yeah, I was gonna go with 100, like 120K.
Yeah, it was like 250,000. Yeah. It was pretty much like
How old is he?
What's her name?
old enough, man. He was a nurse in the healthcare system.
So he's an adult.
Yeah, he's an adult. This
he
guy's
knew
a
better.
fucking adult.
He knew better.
And so basically, obviously, he's, like he spent his entire family's like savings. Like they had nothing.
You know what?
Must be bad.
I was just gonna say after $10,000 in, maybe start asking some questions.
Bro.
What school you going to, motherfucker? I need some. You better send me a report
Bro,
card.
there's so many cases like this where kids just fleece their families for. I mean, like it's your kid. Like you're gonna be suspicious, but like there's pathological liars are really good. Like that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Like, they're really really good.
I need to see.
but like
$250,000.
So basically, yeah. After he got caught, obviously, like they were like, don't fucking do this again. But like he had an addiction, so he did it again. Like he kept. Well,
God.
his
How's
mom,
it an addiction?
his mom was
You
also.
can't stop doing it. What do
He
you mean?
gave her $250,000.
Well,
How is it not
I
an
know
addiction?
porn is an addiction, but to like was she doing stuff?
Yeah, it's a webcam model. Like,
Oh, she's just not just talking. She's actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
but he's never met her. She's in Bulgaria.
When you say doing stuff, do you mean she's probably fingering herself or using a dildo or something?
Okay, so she's this. So it's
Sorry
actual
to be
porn.
graphic.
It's actual
Yes.
porn. I thought you were just talking to her.
No, she's doing
getting
sex
it
things.
But a lot of that too. He was like in love with this girl. But anyways, but his mom was kind of enabling too, because like she kind of would let him talk to her still on in secret and not let the dad know.
Oh, God.
But anyways, one day he gets confronted. He's like, because he spent some more money, and his dad was like, a confrontation happens, and he killed all of them.
Oh my God.
All of them?
Well, I think you do one, and he's like, well, that's what it is.
Mom, dad, and brother killed them all.
Brother too?
Killed them all.
Yeah.
It killed his entire family
I need to see this one.
over some webcam model that he never met, and he's
Is this webcam model in trouble at all?
No, what she ain't doing shit.
that's
she
not
didn't
her
do
fault.
anything.
What the fuck would she be in trouble for?
Racked up. Matter of fact, she probably don't even do it no
Even
more.
if-
Right,
even if-
honestly.
Made some solid
Even if she did,
investments.
she's in Bulgaria. We have no jurisdiction over that. But no, she didn't do anything. She's just getting money, dude.
So she didn't say, hey, I'm going to leak these photos or anything like that.
He
No.
knew what he was getting into.
He was
like,
a customer for her.
Yeah.
That was her piggy bank. Like, if somebody's just continuing to give you large amounts of money, are you going to stop them? If they're just giving you money up to like $250,000, you going to stop them, dude? Yeah, dude. There's some fucked up cases out there, man.
I will say,
Your question is he in jail? Is he in prison?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, he's put away. For life. And this guy, and when you watch the interrogation tape, like these people are so ugh. That's why I watch it, because it's so fascinating to me, just to know what like people are capable of. To like, I don't know. It's fascinating, and it's fucked. There's some fucked up cases.
It makes you think about the worst of like society, though, and like it's kind of like how cops start seeing everybody as a potential criminal. I think when you watch enough true crime shit, it kind of fucks with you. But I will say this.
Nah, I don't.
I mean, I think if you, I know they watch a lot, and they're like, you don't know what people. But all right, so senior year, it was my senior night in marching band where like my whole family comes out, and so my mom and dad were out there, and the night before we hadn't had internet for a while. And I wasn't getting none from the lady, so I fucked up, bro. And I bought like a $50 pay-per-view, like porn, straight up.
No,
straight up. And this was I was like 18, like man, and like I knew I was gonna get called, putting like my mom's card and shit. I was just like, I can't, I see some titties, goddammit. And I did it, and it was senior night, and my mom was like, hey Chris, she was like, there was a strange purchase on and I was like, was it porn? And she was like, yeah, it was porn. And I was like, Aaliyah must have did that shit. At this time, if I'm 18, my little sister was 10. She was 10. And my mom was like, yeah. She did it. And I was like, you should probably go talk with her. She was like, it's senior night, so I'm going to let it slide. But she was like, you motherfucker.
I would not have the balls to do something like that, because I would be afraid of a whooping, bro.
Well, you don't understand how hard I wanted to see some porn, obviously.
but dude, like,
the teenage hormones were all
that was it, bro. I executed Order 66 and knew I was going to do it. Bro, she was 10, and I was like, it had to be her. You should probably, that seems like advanced stuff for her age. You might want to go talk with her.
But
My mom was
when
like,
you're too young to really have a good lie, like
Right.
it had to be the baby.
also you spent $50 up.
bro.
Hey, it was like 3 hours long though, bro.
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
watch?
okay.
It was,
You
it was
better
a whole
watch
movie.
the whole thing.
Oh, you goddamn right, son. It was like fucking 2 a.m. I'm up. I was like, man, I don't want to do it again, but I paid for this shit. Hey,
God
rev
damn.
up another one. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah, it was.
Bro, you couldn't just wait for like Cinemax or like the shit at late night.
No, we didn't have.
We
We didn't have any. I don't. We had one of those TVs that like allowed you to go to those channels you couldn't have. We don't have Cinemax at the time, bro.
Yeah,
we
well,
had regular
I didn't have
cable.
those channels. I didn't watch the fuzzy shit.
Skinamax.
Nah, man.
I'm
I'm past the fuzzy shit. We had already had the internet. I knew what 720p looked like. Okay, there's
It
no way I was
sounds
going
like you
back.
had like a terrifyingly rough boner. Like it was just
Like
something. It was going in a wall.
I'm about to call a doctor, bro.
No, you were Andy from The Office. Just
I had to have had a boner for like hours. It was just like,
Good
listen,
God.
that's it. Like this thing, it's not gonna take care of itself. All right,
They're fucking
I'm a
getting
man of
the credit
action.
card.
Goddammit.
you're Steve Carell from 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he calls the doctor. Is like, it's been up for 4 hours. They're like, what did you take? He's like, I didn't take anything. I've just been hard for 4 hours.
You don't understand, man. All right, that was then though. I'm an adult now. I don't pay for my porn like a normal hurt. Anyway, so all right. Well, that's a good
That's
transition.
innocent though. What happened to the other guy?
Princess Bride.
Oh yeah, Princess Diaries.
Oh no! Before, you know what? Are you guys cool if we run just a little late on this one?
Yeah, okay.
Since we started a little late, I did have one question. Does comedy need to be offensive?
Yes.
Need to be offensive? No.
Is good comedy inherently offensive? Is the question.
So
No, it's not.
I take that back. I mean, I don't take that back because you could even ask Surge this. Like he said something about this. I guess it depends what you mean by offensive. But so we're watching Peacemaker right now, right? And Surge was like, hey, they're cussing and there's like little like adult interactions. We're enjoying that show so much more because it's like different compared to Marvel, and like it was like there was cussing makes the things a little bit better versus Marvel there was like it's like very for family friends, so there's no cussing, so like the jokes hit better when there's like some cussing.
How
Do you think it's
offensive
just
are we
because
talking?
you're an adult? I mean, all right, so I think
I don't think of cuss words as offensive, but I understand what
But,
some
like,
people do.
yeah.
so. Like I think all right, you see some people who try to do comedy and they're just like their whole bit for doing comedy is just I'm gonna say the most offensive shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's, I think, in my mind, I think a good comedian is an artist, and I think what you're doing is crafting a joke, right? You're not just getting up there and saying,
Yeah.
hard R in it and be like, isn't that funny that I said it with a hard R? Like that's not really.
Yeah.
There's,
it's shocking, but it's not a
There's I've seen a lot of stand-up comedy, and what you see is so like Ricky Gervais is a good example of like offensive comedy but done correctly, right? Like he's not afraid to like push the line and say some like controversial stuff, but it's always crafted in a way where you're like, that's fucking funny. Like that's
I think it's about also punching up type of deal too, right?
I'll give you 2 examples of completely clean comics, no cussing, family-oriented stuff, and they're in my top 10 stand-ups of all time.
Okay, what do you got?
Brian Regan,
Yeah.
and Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah.
Mike Birbiglia.
I love
So
Mike
funny.
Birbiglia. I love all his old
Yeah,
stuff too.
so funny, dude, and clean. and I would say I'll put Pete Holmes in there. Kind of. Well, Pete Holmes it can.
Pete Holmes gets there, but he never. I haven't heard Pete Holmes tell a dirty joke, but he is funny as fuck without being
Pete Holmes
super.
is mostly clean, but again, no cussing, nothing wholesome.
I think
observational comedy,
is
but
Josh
so
Dye?
funny, dude.
I think Josh Dye might be
know if
a
I'm
clean
familiar.
comic. Or if you go on YouTube and type in dry bar comedy,
Yeah.
it is it's full sets of all clean comics, all clean comedy, and it all hits. Like I turned on when I'm in the shower and shit. It's like
Because if someone said, one of you guys said something about that, and we're watching the Boondocks. I know people think like Boondocks is offensive, but like, all right, so like Uncle Ruckus is a funny character not because of the shit he's saying, right? Like, sure, it is that, but it's also like it's the framing of it, right? If Uncle Ruckus was a different race, would it be as funny? If Uncle Ruckus was a fucking, I was gonna say like an animal, sure, that'd be kind of funny if an animal was wildly racist. But like if Uncle, you know what I mean? Like it's because I was also looking into season 4 of Boondocks, and it does get into like why is this funny? Yeah. And whenever you have to deconstruct the joke, it makes it not funny. That's just how jokes work. But like Uncle Ruckus is funny because like no one takes him seriously. He says this shit and he's still around black folks, but it's like, I don't know, like he's funny. It's funny because he's pathetic, right? Like it's not, Uncle Ruck, like the song "Don't Trust Them New Niggas" over there. It's funny because it's like, that's like because Uncle Ruckus is singing it. If it had been Ed Wunsler singing it, you're like, that's not really.
This show's not okay,
right? You know what I mean? There's like this fine line, and I heard someone in the comments said it, and I think someone else said it was like, yeah, like that shit's offensive, and that's why it's funny. I was like, I do think there can be good offensive comedy, but I don't think just because it's offensive makes it funny.
So I would say this, like I probably don't watch that much stand up compared to you guys, but when I was now like I'm a little bit more smarter and like I have my ADD under control, I could follow the jokes a little bit better. But when I was watching stand up younger and when it's clean, like again, when it's clean and people are saying a joke, it's harder for me to follow because it's not something for me to attention. But when I watch black comics, they cuss a lot more compared to like Jeff Foxworthy. I could never get into those type.
Foxworthy is just not funny.
Yeah, I could never get into those type of comedians. But when people cuss and say outrageous stuff, or like it's relatable
It's attention grabbing.
Yeah, and it's like. I'm able to follow the joke because I'm not lost because I'm not thinking about other shit. You know?
Have you ever seen Monique stand up?
Yeah.
She cuss. She cusses too much, if you ask me. Like,
see, but I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind either, but it's almost she's not funny at some point. Like if your joke is just the word motherfucker, that's not funny. You know what I mean? Like you're not actually making jokes. It's just the fact that word
Yeah.
a rise out of people. And also when you're a kid, it seems more exciting because they're cussing. But as an adult, you watch it again, you're just like,
I get, even as an adult, I find, because like again, it's hard for me to follow jokes when they're like,
when they don't cuss, that's kind of
no, it's like if it's not like outrageous, or if it's not relatable, or they don't cuss. Like again, I just like, it's hard for me to follow white comics because I can't relate to them, and their jokes are tendly very clean and PC versus other type of comedians, and like I feel like I could follow them because it's attention grabbing.
I think you should try to listen to like maybe some Republican comedians, because for them they think that they're making these very funny jokes because they're the left wing would never say this, but the jokes aren't actually funny.
Yeah.
They're not like I need setup, punchline, setup.
Yeah,
right?
there's no punchline.
I need to understand. You need to make me laugh because this is me, and this I'm not saying that this goes for everyone. This is just me. Like I want to be like, oh, that's a really funny way of looking at that, or that's a really funny way of thinking of that. Or even if you're going to tell me a story, if you can tell me in an interesting enough way, I think it's hilarious. There was this comedian when I was doing my little stand-up thing, and his name was Mr. E, and he just had like dry wit punchlines, and they were stupid, but they were super clever, and they had me fucking rolling. Or even like Norm Macdonald, who was like anti-comedy. He was able to be really funny and really clean, and it's all about his delivery. It's all about setup, expectation, and then pulling the rug under from you. And like that's all. I just wanted to get you guys' take on it because I thought, all y'all are pretty fucking funny.
Well,
I love that.
As far as Boondocks goes, I think it's different. Like me watching it versus you guys watching it. It's like, because like if I was watching it by myself, there would be probably moments where I'm like, I don't know if this is something I should laugh at or not. It's nice to have you guys as a guide in the show. So I feel like if you're not black watching that show, it could be like perceived as like, I don't know if I'm like supposed to laugh at this or not.
Well,
like,
I do want to take it one step further on Boondocks, and not on every joke, but at the end of episodes, be like, all right, so what do you guys think this episode's about? Because I do think that there's something different going on, and it's kind of like the thing with Dave Chappelle, right? And this isn't me saying that you guys are fucking racist or anything, but I do want to get to the end of every episode and be like, all right, so like in the discussion, like, what do you think this episode is about? Because I think that kind of helps frame what's going on better, because me and Spidey could be laughing at something completely different for some completely different reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not that everyone needs to be laughing for the same reason, but I do think it'll help you understand the show better. There might be, you know what I mean, like some jokes that are like, well, why is that funny? And it's like, well, it's funny because, black people do the moonwalk when no one's around. It's a secret thing we never told anybody about. Now I'm kicked out of the club.
You throw a chair in a room full of black people, someone's gonna fight. Like,
yeah. All right. Well, that was good. Hold on. As a white guy, I've never understood why other white guys are so offended when they don't get permission to say the N-word, because saying the N-word's cool and everyone wants to be cool. And we don't just give it out to anybody.
Neil Brennan, I think, is the last white guy that got the permission.
Neil Brennan.
Who's Neil Brennan?
Yeah.
Neil Brennan is the stand-up comic that also helped write the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Actually, all right, last thing
he's
about
got a barbecue pass.
Yeah.
comedy is there's just like, it's like a 3-hour-long video. If you like comedy, or if you consider yourself a coming up comedian or anything, watch it. It's Chris Rock, Ricky Gervais.
Love Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, Ricky Gervais.
Like Ricky.
Oh, and Louis C.K.
Oh, wow.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
I used to like Louis C.K.
You know what? He did some fucked up shit. I still think his
like
show
him.
was good and funny, but I don't rock with him now. But anyway,
he's making a comeback.
In that special, Louis C.K.'s talking. He was like, we were talking about doing comedy and using the N-word, right? And he's like, and Ricky Gervais, or not Ricky Gervais, Louis. He's like, hey, I was talking with Seinfeld about using the N-word, and he was like, and I was like, I got some comedy where I use it. And he's like, I know it's a little controversial, but like, no words are off limits and yada yada yada. He's like, and I use the N-word, and like, and Seinfeld's like, the N-word's like a Corvette, man, so do with that what you will. Right. And he was like, oh, so when he said that, I thought he meant like your Corvette's nice and you only take it out occasionally. You only bring it out for special occasions. Like, you got to know what's going to work when you use it. You don't just use it in every set. Right. I was like, okay. And then he said he talked to Seinfeld later, and he's like, and that's before I realized Seinfeld like grew up filthy rich, and a Corvette's a shitty car to him that you just don't take out ever. You just don't ever use. And he was like, so I misunderstood that completely. And it's like a 3-hour-long video, and they're all just sitting there, and Chris Rock's there, and everyone's like talking. It's funny as fuck, but like,
I love stuff like that.
It gives you a perspective on how they all view comedy and just like how they do things. And I was like, that's hilarious. Like, look, that would be a joke that if he told it and he used the N-word, like, it's setting him up to be the foil in the end. I'd be like, that's a little weird, but he's still trying to, I don't know, make a point. This isn't me giving Louis C.K. the pass to use the fucking N-word, but I'm saying, like, in that sense, it's like you're doing something slightly different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was funny. Princess Bride and/or Diary.
I love that you took something from Princess Diary.
You know, I have heard about this movie through the years. People have told me to watch it, and I've heard a few quotes from it. I thought all of this time that it was some kind of like Zorro thing, and I thought Inigo Montoya was the main character. Because that's the only. I didn't even know Carrie Ills was in this movie.
Damn.
Because the only quotes I hear from this movie are, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." And inconceivable.
And I don't think you know what that would mean. Did you recognize?
And then that one. That's
did
the
you
third
recognize
quote.
Robin White?
Yep. She looks very different.
She looks very different. She's 21 in that movie.
In the
damn.
in the credits, it said "and introducing Robin Wright." Was that her first movie?
I believe that was her first movie.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Knocks it out the fucking park.
Which it was like 87, right?
Yeah, 87, 88, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Before
It
most
took
of us
me
were
a
born.
bit to watch the movie. Like, I actually finished it this morning.
I'm
I watched,
sorry
like, the
that
last
it starts.
45 minutes.
If you're not, if you don't know what you're gonna get into, I can see why you think it's gonna be kind of. But that's like kind of the point.
It was cheesy as first, but like if I say out loud what happened in the movie, it's all funny as fuck. To me.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it was
very
goofy.
like I never really like out loud laughed while watching it. I enjoyed it the same way I enjoy British humor. Like it's very dry, very deadpan, and it's very reminiscent of like the 80s movies at the time. It's got the it didn't have a lot of slapstick, but it had that kind of vibe. Like,
Even at the time, it was a throwback to like Errol Flynn movies and shit.
Yeah, Robin Hood, Naked Gun.
I mean, Carrie Ills is in Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Yeah, Men in Tights is really
Airplane,
good.
Hot Shots,
Yeah.
like Leslie Nielsen, like that kind of like deadpan. So like there, it's you had to really pay attention to it to catch the jokes because it's not like there's not very much. There is physical comedy, but it doesn't rely on that. I liked it because it was like. It wasn't necessarily a satire of the genre. Like it was self-aware, but it wasn't so self-aware that it's only making fun of the genre.
Yeah.
Like it's still
funny. I like
it's still a fairy tale.
that part with Billy Crystal at the end. I don't know why I think that part's so funny. What's his name? Magnificent Max. He's being so silly, and then the wife comes out. She's like, lie. It's like witch. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife. I don't know. Like that shit makes me laugh because it feels like stage humor.
Yeah.
Where you know what I mean? Like it's old school, but I think they do a really good job. We're gonna continue to gush over the sword fight because the sword fight's fucking awesome. And Andre the Giant, I think Andre the Giant.
My man put 3 people on his back and just climbed up around.
Oh yeah.
Like,
How did they do the rope shot?
I have no idea.
Because that's
one of them I think is really
long
actually a dude climbing a rope.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did we have the capability in the 80s to like delete wires?
Yeah, I think deleting wires.
Because that's the only
Star Wars.
Because, like,
Keep in mind, anything that happened after Star Wars, we had the power to probably do it.
Because that shot looked real. It looked like they were in a helicopter shooting a guy climbing a cliff. Like that was one part of the movie. I'm like, well, how the fuck did they do this shot? This was an impressive ass shot. Like,
The real sets, the rodents of unusual size that are just dudes in costumes.
those were dudes in costumes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought this shit was funny. I thought it was super silly. I like the framing device that Fred Savage is being annoyed by being told this story.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, okay, it's kind of awesome.
the funny,
Rudy's
bro.
like, Jesus, Grandpa, why would you even tell me this story? He's like, you want me to read it or not? Like, you finish.
Pat, hearing this movie, I feel like you're damn near kind of jealous. Like you need to see that. You never need to see it now.
It's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
It's totally up your alley.
It's also framed around a kid not wanting to hear a movie about a princess or a bride. He's just like, princess, bro. Like, he's already like, I don't want to hear this. And Grandpa's like, you gonna sit down and listen or what? And he's like, well, I'm 6, so yeah, fine.
Yeah,
It
I
made
didn't.
sense
I
by the
didn't
end.
expect that part of it either. Honestly, when people talk about this movie throughout the years, all they do is that Inigo Montoya quote. I had no. I still, as much as I've heard about this movie, I had no idea what I was stepping into. I didn't know Carrie Ills was in it. I knew it was some kind of like medieval thing, but I thought it was like a Zorro thing.
Yeah.
The first 2 times I tried to watch it, I was like, "This is absolute dog shit." Like, I have no, bro. I was texting Bria. I was mad as fuck. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
He who Pluto Nash.
chicken.
And Pluto Nash is actually good.
Wait, they made a remake to The Princess Bride? I knew there was a more modern one, isn't there?
What?
Somebody
Bride
said
remake.
now you need to watch the remake. So
I'll make you guys a deal.
what do you mean by the remake?
It's just Shrek.
I'll make you guys
Honestly.
a deal. You guys, I will watch Princess Bride if you guys watch Princess Diary.
See, I don't want to throw off the movie club for a whole nother week.
No, just at our own time.
Oh, just on our own time? I'm pretty sure. That's the one with Anne Hathaway. She's got the big hair. She's got to be a princess.
I feel like
Didn't they make two of them? They made two of them, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
she's the Princess of Geonosia or whatever, someplace.
Yeah.
In
I'm pretty sure that's
and
in
if
Star
I
Wars.
haven't seen it, I've seen enough Disney films that I think I know the gist of what's.
It's Geneva. No, it's not Geneva.
It's
Is it
Geneva.
Geneva? Which apparently isn't a real place.
Geneva? Well, it's a city.
But hey, look, Princess Diary is another like I know it's got like a cult kind of following. It's another cult classic. I
Yeah,
think.
that's why I thought it was that movie.
Genovia.
Okay, yes, Genovia. I have seen this movie. Yes, I have seen it.
Respect, go away.
She got the big hair, and then she's like, it's too frizzy, and she's got to be a princess, and she got to learn to prince. Look, I think it's funny that you watch Princess Bride and you can't, because here's the thing, like, my bad, you watch Princess Diary and you came with like this small dissertation on like what it means to like rule and power and how to change power systems. When if you were to watch Princess Bride, like there's none of that. And I don't know that this movie has layers. This movie is just fun. Like it's like going to Disney and getting on one of those rides. You know,
Yeah, it's knowing that Princess Diary doesn't seem like a movie you would watch at all. And Princess Bride, I was like, this is Pat. Like, this is a Pat movie. And you really came back with something from Princess Diary.
Well, I had to think about it because
Like he did an analysis.
Because the whole time I was thinking, like, first, because like when I was watching, again, it's 2 hour long movie. Like the first hour, I'm like, this is like any other fucking type of movie out there. Why does Chris and Nuvi like this so much?
movie's got torture in it, Pat.
And then like I was like, man, I got to find something in here so I could talk about it. And I'm like, then when we get towards the end, I'm like, this is why Nuvi and Chris like it so much.
I also love the poisoning scene with what's his